Again, my name is jweseman. I'm president of FocalPoint Business Coaching of Wisconsin. You're not going to get anything that's going to save your life out of this, but you might be able to hire some great people. And you talk about stress. It's my kid's 11th birthday today, so there's some stress as well. But I'd rather spend it with you guys. So who is FocalPoint? We'll do it real quick. We'll go through this. This is Brian Tracy. Anybody know who Brian Tracy is? A few of you. He's been doing this for many years. He founded FocalPoint in the year 2000, but he's been a guru, a Zig Ziglar. I call him the Tony Robbins without walking across the coals type of guy. So he's done thousands, trained thousands of people. He's got 70 books. And in 2000, he formed FocalPoint Business Coaching, where we focus on small to mid-sized businesses. I am the coach in the state of Wisconsin. I'm the area developer for the state of Wisconsin as well. So I do two things. I recruit great coaches for FocalPoint, and I also coach small businesses. Certified business coach, certified Brian Tracy trainer. I've done a lot. And today what we're going to talk about is retention. This comes back to a former life that I used to lead. I've had a lot of interesting roles in my life, and I used to work with a guy named Lou Adler. Anybody know who Lou Adler is? I know Andrew does, but because I saw the book on her shelf that I helped write. Lou and I he still does, and I used to consult. We used to go to Fortune 100, Google, Yahoo, AIG, work with their recruiting companies how to find and retain and hire top talent. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Anybody in here have those issues? Anybody in here hire people? Do you here have a problem? They live by hire slow, fire quickly. That type of rule. We're going to try and get past that. First thing we're going to do today is I'm going to be a little interactive. There's my agenda. Isn't that cool how I did that? Yeah, pretty cool. Huh? We're going to talk about the characters of top performers, raising the talent bar, rethinking the hiring process, creating a positive candidate experience, and interviewing done right. And then if there's any questions. All right, so first thing we're going to do today. Why do some people succeed while others get by? Here's some questions I want you to start thinking about. Why are people more successful? What are the key attributes of successful people? What are proven ingredients for success? Start thinking about that for a second. Are successful people smarter than you? You think about that. All right. I'm going to write it down up here. You yell out. Give me some key characteristics of top performers that you know.
Doers.
Fire again. Go ahead.
Doers.
Doers.
You might want to use the black.
Yeah, the black's probably better. Just throw them out. There's no wrong answers.
Positive attitude.
Decision maker.
Committed. And not should be committed, right? Just committed.
Right.
Yeah.
Persistence.
Accountable. Persistence.
Strong self-image.
Love it.
Loyal.
Loyal.
Cares about others.
Strong image.
Confident.
Driven.
Confident, driven, cares about others.
Charisma.
Cares.
Focus.
Sharp.
Dependable.
Charisma.
Dad's on the boardroom.
Yep. What's that?
Dad's in the boardroom.
That's right. Well, that's But now, that's a good question though. And you're being a little facetious, but it's always a good point. Is that person a top performer because their dad's in the boardroom, or are they a top performer? And that's really what I'm kind of getting at is what are they? So we got a good list here, right? Pretty good list. Anybody want to throw any more out?
Self-care.
What's that?
Self-care.
Self-care. Would you hire this person? Would this be somebody that could work in your organization? All right, well, let's think about it. Let's mull on this for a second. Anybody know who this dude is?
Andrew guy.
He's a rich man. Immigrated from Scotland, 1835, or 1848, born in Scotland, 1835. Pretty smart dude. At one point, his net worth in today's dollars was $309 billion. There's only one person in the history of the world that would have had more in America. Anybody know who that was? Who?
I said Oprah.
Oh, Oprah's probably up there.
Rockefeller.
Rockefeller, exactly. This net worth is 5 times that of Warren Buffett. So just to give you a context of, you think and people talk about income inequality today, it was nothing like the steel bearer days. So, just something to give you a frame of reference on what he did. Success is the power with which to acquire whatever one demands of life without violating the rights of others. Pretty good guy, generally all around, pretty awesome dude. So, why are we talking about it? The Carnegie Institute formed something called the Carnegie Triangle. Since I already hit the button, you know what one piece isn't. One piece isn't. What do you guys think the other one is? The other side, this one. The 3 biggest factors that contribute to your success.
Patience.
Go back to that one, we'll stick with attitude in a second. What's the other one? Knowledge, blank, and attitude.
Persistence.
Persistence is more of an attitude.
Desire.
Desire, attitude, knowledge, skills. Knowledge, skills, and attitude. Probably should give you a little more leader there. So, skills and knowledge, what they found off by analyzing thousands and thousands of successful people, they found that has 15% to do with people's actual success in being a top performer. So since we already got the answer, what's the other 85%? Attitude. And you know what we can do? We can prove that. How are we gonna prove it? Let's look at what we got here. Positive attitude, is that a skill, a knowledge, or an attitude?
Attitude.
Self-care. You take care of yourself.
Attitude.
Strong self-image.
Attitude.
Committed.
Attitude.
Accountable. Persistence. Loyal. Charisma. Sharp. Cares. Dependable. Now, this is the first time, let's see, attitude. Maybe a doer, could be a skills and knowledge thing, but it's still probably your attitude because you're still gonna go to work every day. It's the first time it's ever happened where they were all attitude, but every time I've done it, it's been 95% attitude. So, the point being is that when we're hiring people, we're looking for, wait back a second. When we hire people, when we put out job descriptions, what are we asking for? Your skills, your knowledge, where'd you go to school? What's your, did you have 7 years experience working with this? Have you done this? Here's your skills. This is what we should be hiring for, to find top people. So what we're gonna do is, how do we transfer this into something I can put into a job description and actually hire? Because I want people that get results. And the only people that get results are people that have the right attitude. So as you saw, all attitude, you guys were first, you guys must be the smartest class I ever had. So how do we find these top performers? Anybody written a job description, put out a job description? You guys have all done it. We just talked about it. I said, I want 7 years experience, you had to work in a top 6 accounting firm, you have to do this, this, and this. You know what that is? It's a people description. It's not a job description. You're talking about a person there. We want to write a job description talking about what the job does. When I say I want to hire people that have this experience and these skills, I can find that person, and the chance that that person is going to be the one person that applies, that's the best person for the job, we call that the one person out of many. There's one person. If you think about it, I always look at it like the draft for the NFL. If your team sucks, that means you got the top draft pick. You really need a quarterback. You're going to take the best quarterback available. Is that the best quarterback playing football? No. He's on the Patriots. Now, forget about contracts and stuff like that, but that's the guy you want to get. How do I get that guy to apply to my job? How do I get that guy engaged and that guy brought on? Instead of having taken the first guy available. So that one person, the person that just happened to have the skills and experience that you wanted, happened to fall into the compensation that you could afford, and happened to apply. Very rare. There's going to be 10 times as many people that have the same skills and experience that don't apply. Or they didn't apply, they didn't see the job, or they didn't want to apply because your job description was ultra boring. Which happens. You guys know what I'm talking about. And we're going to talk about how we're going to change that. There's 20 to 30 times as many people that are performance qualified. What do you think that means? If there's skills and experience qualified and performance qualified, what do you think the difference is? This person's shown they can do the job.
Yeah.
This person has the skills and experience that you're looking for. This person may not have the exact skills and experience you're looking for, but they've done the job. Doesn't matter what your skills and experience are if you can't do the job, and it doesn't matter if you can do the job, what your skills and experience are. So we wanna be looking for these people. Now, how do we get these people to apply? That's what we're gonna talk about. And finding there's a massive 50 to 100 times more than this one person that applied that are the passive candidates. The people, the Tom Brady's that already have an awesome job, and we really need them to apply to our job. And how do we get them to do that? So we're talking about that. To get awesome people to even consider coming to your job, you have to offer a career move, not a lateral transfer. And not, the people that apply to your job, that one, that's the person that for economic reasons, they have no job, that's why they're applying. It's not because your job is the best job out there and the perfect job for them, it's the job that they're gonna get hired for because they need a job. You want somebody that's gonna come in and be a totally top performer. To offer a career move, you have to have a 30% non-monetary increase. That's job stretch, job growth, and job satisfaction. Make sense, everybody? This has gotta be something more than just a transaction. Great performers, top performers, don't take new jobs on a transactional level. This is a move for them. I need to know that I'm gonna do more, I'm gonna have more intrinsic value in this job than just another step on the ladder. So this is a strategic opportunity for your organization. You need to shift to a performance-qualified approach. Look for people that have done the job, not people that have the skills and experience that you think needs to do the job. If I can do the job, I promise you I have the right skills and experience. Eliminate these boring job descriptions, which we'll talk about in a second. Implement a consultative recruiting process. What that means is, instead of saying, okay, I have a job right now that I need to fill right now, let's start talking to passive candidates, people that are doing the job, and say in 3 months, I'm gonna have a couple projects that might interest you. Let's talk about that now. Would that be something you wanna talk about? You're consulting, you're bringing a very low-key attitude, you're actually helping them find a job they want, instead of putting out a job that you have to fill that they might not even consider. And offer career moves rather than lateral transfer. We talked about that. So what happens traditionally, and this is across all organizations, is people tend to think the hiring process backwards. They go from a have, what do you have? What are your skills? What are your experience? Then a get. What are you gonna get with this job? You're gonna get a title, you're getting a salary, you're gonna get a company. Then we say, okay, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do every day in the job? And then finally, what are you gonna become? What's the job growth in this role? People traditionally go from this way. They talk about what do you have, what are your skills and experience, and then what are you gonna get? You're gonna get a salary, you're gonna get a title. What we wanna do is we wanna go the other way. This only happens in a surplus market. And as you know, it's never gonna be a surplus market of top talent. But even today, it's not a surplus market of even medium talent. We're in a very scarce market right now. So if you're recruiting and thinking you have a surplus, weeding out the weak, you're looking only at active participants and taking the best to apply, you are doing the exact opposite of what you should do. What you wanna do is rethink it. Take a scarcity approach. Don't assume there's a surplus, assume there's a scarcity. You gotta bring people in. You wanna attract the best, you gotta look at those passive candidates, and that's how you raise your talent pool. So when we're talking about a surplus, what do we really mean? Remember the old demand curve from economics? Where, you supply and demand, you try and meet that, that's the perfect thing. If you've got more, you're assuming there's a surplus of talent in the market if you're emphasizing those skills, the experience, and the personality traits in your job descriptions. If you are not measuring your hiring manager's abilities, if you're not measuring how good your hiring managers are, those are the people that are talking to your candidates. Those are people that are out there in the market talking with people you want to come to your company. If you don't know how good they are, you're missing a huge opportunity. If you're measuring your hiring by the speed and the cost of your hire, you're missing a fantastic opportunity, and you're assuming there's a surplus. We're gonna change that. You turn people away quickly with boring job descriptions, with lengthy questionnaires. Top talent, I don't wanna be tested, I don't wanna have to go through the ringer, I don't wanna have to go through some arduous process to get your job. You want me, you wanna bring me on. So let's work on this and make this a less one-sided affair. We're gonna talk about the best interviewing question in the whole world. We're gonna talk about how to do the best interviewing. And then if you think that hiring fast and getting the people at the right money is the best way to judge your hiring processes, you're living in a tired old mentality. So, somebody calls you up and says, the first thing they say is, how much am I gonna get for this money? How much money am I gonna get for this job? Well, right there, you probably got a candidate, may not be what I'm calling a top performer, but at least they called you, at least they reached out to you. What I say is, if the job doesn't represent a true career move, it doesn't matter what we pay you. So let's first see if the job represents a career move, then we'll see if the compensation can get worked out. Top talent want to know this is a job move, not a lateral transfer. If it's only about the money, you could always pay somebody a little bit more to come across the street, and somebody else is gonna pay them a little more later. So never sell the job, sell the discussion. Don't ever say, let's just have, all I wanna do is talk. All we're gonna do is have a conversation. Let's not worry about the job right now. Let's not worry about the pay. So the position objective, so how we're gonna change those job descriptions is focus on what the person is gonna do in the first 6 to 12 months to be successful. Again, we're talking about what you're gonna do. We're not talking about skills, we're not talking about experience. This is what you're gonna do on the job to be a success in the first 6 to 12 months. Put those in the job description, put those in the job posting. And by the way, when you post something on LinkedIn or anywhere, you don't have to use your boring internal name, job name, as the title. You can call it whatever you want. It could be a third shift nurse, you can call it someone that saves lives every day, or superwoman, something that's gonna attract somebody to apply. Think creatively. This is how you attract top people. I got that. That's not gonna move forward when you do the red light, by the way. You need to use consumer marketing techniques. There's somebody in here I'm sure knows a lot about that, but start with an attention grabbing mechanism. Put something on there in your ad that's gonna get them to reach out to you. We are super people. We save lives every day. Is that better than third shift nurse, must have 12 years experience, has gone to this college, has done this? I mean, anything that gets them to start thinking about it, that's what top people look for. They look for jobs differently than regular people. Highlight the intrinsic motivator. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna become? What am I gonna see every day? Sell the discussion, not the apply button. Don't get them to apply right away. You want them to actually understand what the job is. I want to hire somebody that knows that my job's a good move for them, and it's gonna help them grow. I don't want them to care just about the money. Emphasize the value proposition, the employee value proposition. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna become every day? And most importantly, job branding trumps employer branding for really high-performing people. A true high performer wants an awesome job. I don't necessarily have to work at the biggest firm. I don't have to work at the biggest company. I don't have to work at IBM. I can work at any job as long as I know it's a good growth and the job is more important than the employer brand. So, what are the purposes of the interview? This is one of the most important things. Now we got them. We got them to look at the application. We got them to apply. We got them to come in. Now it's time for the interview. The purpose of the interview is let's assess the fit, competency, and motivation. Of course, that's obvious. That's given. Let's determine if the job represents a career move for you and for us. Is it good for you? Is it good for us? But most importantly, we want to make sure that we demonstrate to the candidate that the company's committed to hiring the best. We want you, if you're awesome. You don't want people to leave thinking they got disrespected, they got turned off by your policies, they didn't get a fair shake. It's a demeaning process, and let's try and change that. So how do we create that positive candidate experience? We talked about it, all for career moves. Slow down, focus on attracting great people. Describe what the candidate gets, not what you want. So describe what are you gonna get out of this? What's the growth? What's your path? Where are you gonna go? How are we gonna keep you here? How are you gonna grow with this company? Let's not worry about what I want. Let's talk about what you've done. Let's implement a consultative recruiting process. Work with your candidates. Have great lead times on your jobs. Don't hire the first person, the best person that applied. Hire the best person that's for the job that probably didn't apply. And improve the job assessment program. Don't demean your applicants. And also always brand the job. That's the key. So, let's do a quick little test. When we're bringing in a candidate and they come in, what are you always telling your people? If if they're going for an interview, if you're telling your brother that's going for an interview, you're telling your sister, what are you telling them to do right when they come in?
Shake hands.
Smile, shake hands, look them in the eye, be on time. That's not a bad thing. But none of these are bad things, by the way. Just want to make sure we're on the same page. What else?
Dress appropriately.
Dress appropriately.
Speak clearly.
Speak clearly. These are all very important things. But what does that do? You guys have all met this dude, right? He's got the trimmed haircut, he's got clean shaves, a warm smile, he feels confident, he's formally dressed, got a firm handshake, he's got the correct body posture. I pulled this off a how to interview right card. You know, this is all very important, but it's not important at all. Does any of this stuff have anything to do with whether this guy can do the job or not? Absolutely not. But you know that 85% of all hiring decisions are made in the first 3 minutes of an interview. And that's because of this dude. So, and he's probably a nice guy. I feel bad for, throwing him under the bus up here. But in the first 3 minutes, you've already made your decision. So I'm gonna give you 3 massive words that's gonna change your life when you're interviewing. Do it every time. It's not easy. Do it every time, and you'll be able to massively change how quality you hire people. Who would love that guy? Come on, that guy's awesome. But we don't know if that guy can do the job. All we know is that guy can make you smile when he comes in. I have no idea if he can do what I need him to do. So the 3 most important words: wait 30 minutes. It's all you gotta do before you consciously tell yourself, if I'm starting to fall in love with that good-looking dude, that clean-shaved dude, tell yourself, I'm gonna start making it harder on this guy. And if you think somebody's terrible, they come in, you're like, maybe he came a little late, his tie's not right, the dress is a little wrinkled, give her an extra chance. Give her an extra chance. Think about how you felt when you were interviewing, how you were nervous. You can do the work. Don't tell yourself they can or can't do the work in the first 30 minutes. And trust me, it is hard to do. Because you want to like people. And you want to think we all can make these great first impressions and these great decisions in the first 3 minutes. Wait 30 minutes before you can make a decision. 50% better hiring, just like that. It's still not going to save your life like that guy's awesome tips, but it'll save you from a bad hire, which again could save you. All right, here we go. The most important and effective interview question of all time. People have paid top dollar. I have done this presentation in front of 2,000 people. So, you guys write this down. The most important and effective question of all time. One question. What is your biggest accomplishment in your career? What that tells you, right off the bat, is, first of all, you say, okay, what's the biggest accomplishment in your career? And they say, I've done X, Y, Z. If X, Y, Z isn't something they're gonna be doing on a daily basis with you, you know that person's probably not ready for your job. Because if that's the bare minimum they can do, and that's your entry, you're probably already looking at something else. But let's say they have an awesome biggest accomplishment. Mine was I started a college from scratch, Omaha, Nebraska. Then I'm going to ask, I want to know all about who you worked with, who'd you have to interact with, who'd you have to sell that to. You dig deep on that accomplishment. Am I going to learn a lot about that person? Am I going to learn how they can work with people, how they can connect to others, how they can promote themselves, how they can make the job work? You learn what the person's most important accomplishment is, you learn a lot about them. And then, when you have group panel interviews, everyone on the panel picks a different accomplishment for a different job. And say, well, in this job, what was your biggest accomplishment? Let's drill down on that. You will learn more than you've ever known about your candidates with one question. Do you have any questions, by the way? I'm rolling through here, but.
When would you pose that question? When in the interview, how far would you?
I would say you wanted, here's how, and it's obviously much deeper and a lot more, but 20-minute phone screen with a recruiter. Hiring manager does the first round, make sure that it's someone that they can work with, that they understand, and then you do a panel interview, and that's when you do the third round. And I never, ever do 3 90-minute interviews in a row. It's a waste of time. 1 45-minute is okay. I prefer 1 90-minute panel interview when you have people come into your office. And then everybody focuses on a different achievement. And at the end of the day, what I want you to do is, when you're scoring people, let's say whatever scale you want to use. I use a 5, but if you use a 10, whatever. if 3 people have this person as a 4, and 1 person as a 1 or a 2, we all need to talk about that, because there's no way that there's somebody that has a wide variance. Somebody fell in love with somebody, or somebody fell out of hate with somebody. So make sure that you're coming to a conclusion together, and if we have to start over, we have to start over. Hiring the right people, here's what we gotta do. This is it. So I'm getting my warning back there. Offer a great job, that's the key. You wanna hire great people, offer a great job. Target the entire market. The passive market is where all those people you want are. That's where Tom Brady is. Tom Brady's not that kid coming out of college, I don't know if he's gonna be a good quarterback or not, but I have to take him because I have to take a quarterback. Conduct an in-depth interview. Let's see, you make fire, good. You make tools, good. You hunt mammoth, okay. Uh-oh, your references are all baboons, not good. Who misses old Gary Larson, the far side? I used to love the far side. And finally, close the deal. And it's not about the money. The money will always take care of itself. Now, don't leave here and say, Weisman told me that I could pay him whatever I wanted, and as long as I offered a great job and offered him career growth, they'd come. You gotta be in the ballpark. But as long as you're competitive, as long as you're in the ballpark, and you offer a great career move, you'll hire great people. And that is that. Any questions? Well, you guys can do this later, but eventually, I wanna know how I did. I wanna know, and you can write it on the back of your other survey as well. But, one thing that you'll do today, when you were hiring people today, I wanna know, what you're gonna do. But any more questions?
So is it more head hunting, or are you putting ads out there?
This is, so you're hiring, you're bringing people on. You don't wanna do headhunters, you wanna do it yourself. You wanna put the ads out themselves, you wanna bring the people into your office.
Okay, so you're putting like LinkedIn job ads
Exactly.
and
What
pretty
we
much
wanna
stay
do
on
is-
Craigslist?
Correct, yeah, well, crazy. I don't know about that, that's a different job. You wanna act as a headhunter yourself. Headhunters go out and find the best people, the best passive candidates, and recommend them for other jobs. You wanna take that capacity internally. You wanna bring in the best people from outside. Thank you for your time, I appreciate it, and we'll hire you.